Hey everybody, it's Captain Kyle. I'm here with Kirk Thornton, who's very talented in voice acting, though he was apparently told he would never amount to anything, which we may talk about. And we're here at Zenkaikon, and are you having a good day?
I'm having a ball. I was just saying, I was out walking in the rain and enjoying the city. Living on the West Coast, I miss the East Coast. I miss all the architecture and just the vibe, the East Coast vibe.
Where were you living on the East Coast?
I was in Manhattan. I was in New York pursuing theater.
Wow. Living in Manhattan.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. So you were rich to begin with, and now you're just making more.
Absolutely. I was living in the garbage disposal of Hell's Kitchen.
Which
when
was
I first got
$3,000
there.
a month?
Well, not then. Not then. It was pretty cheap. I was walking home. You'd have to hop over rats crossing the sidewalk and that kind of thing. And it was Hell's Kitchen back then was not what it is now.
All right. Well, thank God for Daredevil, in his work.
Yeah.
So how did you discover voice acting?
Well, I mean, I discovered it as a kid watching cartoons. But I never thought that, I never even thought about it as a career. I came up thinking that when I was very young, I went to the Oregon Shakespeare Festival and I saw a play. It was The Tempest. And I looked up on the stage and went, that's where I want to be. And so I set my goals on that. And after I finished acting school, I got hired at Oregon Shakespeare Festival, and I was on that stage. And so from there, I went to New York to pursue theater, then moved to LA to do film and TV, and ran into a friend who was his name was Tom Weiner, and he was directing anime. And he said, "You want to do this?" And I was like, yeah, sure. And it didn't pay very much, but I started, and it turned out I was good at it. I had an affinity because doing voiceover dubbing anime it's a real skill. It's not, it's a combination of acting, knowing how to act, and a combination of technique. And I had a lot of technique to my acting. So it came naturally to me. And I was doing film and TV at the time and not getting great roles, getting little roles. And so
Accountant number 3.
I was, the police officer, the maitre d', the this, the that. And they're great. And, you get treated real well. You go in on the film set and they say, "Oh, here's your trailer, Mr. Thornton. Can I bring you anything for breakfast, Mr. Thornton?" And it's like, yeah, baby, I like this. But the actual work itself was not as satisfying. And as I was moving into voiceover, I got these great roles, that had all this depth, and the characters had all these emotions, and I got to play really different characters. And sometimes I'd go in and I'd play 3 or 4 characters in a day. And I'm like, well, this is why I got into acting. And so I stopped pursuing the film and TV and just started pushing towards all voiceover.
Yeah, and you can be in your bathrobe, right?
No, you cannot. I mean, during COVID, you could be in your bathrobe, but when I started, you had to go to the studio, and it's getting back to studio, and I much prefer working in the studio. I've got a very nice booth at home. I built it before COVID, and it's very nice. It's pretty soundproof, and I've got a window. I look out, and there's bunnies that come, and I can see bunnies while I'm working. And it's very nice, but put me in a studio any day.
Which, it's kind of like working from home. It's like you're kind of distracted, I would think. I've tried working from home, and it can be distracting when the TV's there. But you were saying a lot of technique with doing anime. There's matching the flaps, but you've also done a number of video games.
Yeah.
Which you found more challenging, the matching the flaps or the I need a grunt, medium get hit in the leg. that type of thing.
Yeah.
Which is more challenging.
Oh, sync is definitely more challenging because you're also, when you're doing dubbing, you've also got to do that sometimes. Oh, the reactions. Oh my God. They drive me that's so common. We call it a 102, the exhale to inhale. Yeah. And, but so you've got that as well as having to hit, when you're dubbing it, you got to hit the timing on it. When you're video games, yeah, you run through, give me 3 small damage reactions, give me 3 medium damage reactions, give me 3, okay, now you're burning to death. That's no fun. Burning to death is like one of the hardest, as well as drowning. Drowning that's no fun.
I hope they wait till the end, so in case
Oh, they do. Well, the directors who know what they're doing. But every once in a while, you run into. I was working on a game recently, and they said, "Okay, we're going to start off with these," and I just ripped my voice out. And they said, "Okay, now we've got the lines that we want you to do." I'm like, "Really? Really? You just ripped my tonsils out, and now you want to go back and do my calm lines?" Yeah, so every once in a while, they don't know, but 99% of the time, the directors are pretty savvy.
So do you prefer a director who also is a voice actor? Because they know what's going to be best for your voice, or?
Not necessarily. I'm trying to think of which of my favorite directors. My favorite director is Jack Fletcher, who was with ACT in San Francisco. So he was a teacher, and he's got very solid roots in acting and teaching, directing. So, yeah, I like somebody, a director who has solid roots in. I like solid roots in the theater. Who's really studied the art of acting. Some actors have not studied the art of acting. They just got into it. But yeah, a lot of actors, they'll take care of you, but a good director will also take care of you.
Good to know. Now, you've played a number of characters, as you said. That was why you got into acting. Mm-hmm. Are there characters that you found easiest to kind of portray? And are there some characters that you were having trouble getting into the mindset, or just was rough on your voice?
Characters that are easier to portray. I don't know, but online, one of the, I don't know whether it was Google or something, somebody said that I'm known for playing grumpy old men. And I have played some grumpy old men, but and I think easier to portray are characters that are closer to me in my psyche, not necessarily vocally, but my psyche of being a little edgy, kind of sarcastic, kind of wry. Those are a little bit more, they come easier to me. The characters that are more difficult are, the younger characters, when I like Klein, or when they ask me to play a teenager. Vocally, it's a stretch now, but I can usually still get there. But getting the psyche of that and the rhythms of a younger character, that's tough.
I can understand that. Dave Sublove was saying he probably never portray a 12-year-old girl, but that's also probably vocally a little beyond his range.
I did do one thing for Mattel. It was for Hot Wheels, and they wanted me to play, I can't remember whether I was cars or drivers in the cars, and I did like 15 different voices. And I was going through every dialect I could, I had in my, I'd ever thought of, and high, low, raspy, clean, deep, and And then I finished the session, and the guy said, "God, that was so great. Can you do women?" And I was like, and the friend who had hired me, Scott Page, he wasn't directing the session, but I was producing it. And I looked at Scott, and we looked at each other like, this guy's serious. And I went, no, hire an actress.
But you could do Jennifer Coolidge, maybe.
Maybe. No, I mean, I could do, yeah.
Maybe a cranky old lady.
You know, Fred Tatasciore could do a woman. But yeah, no, no.
I can understand that. Now, that really sounds cool, having to be 15 people. But you get into some of these roles that can be very emotional. Mm-hmm. Can you recall a line or a scene that actually touched you emotionally, might have even been hard to get through because of what the dialogue and the scene that you had to portray?
Yeah. And it's because it's one of my favorite things. When I did an episode of Love, Death, and Robots, it was called Fish Night. And it was also because of the director was talking me through all the symbolism and exactly what was going on. And my character didn't get real emotional, but what was going on inside of him and what they wanted to bring out in the story, I tear up when I think about it. It was a beautiful story. And you know, you watch the episode, and if you just casually watch it, you go, "Oh yeah, that's nice. The animation's pretty, and it's a nice story." But it hit deep, just knowing everything that the writer had intended, and you know, symbolism's a weird thing. You can't really play it, but just knowing what, you know, that an author intended to show just shades of, it brings layers to the performance, and that's what we look for. I look to layer my performance. I look to have, you know, okay, he's saying this, but he means that, and he feels this, and he's actually trying to hide that, and you know.
And that definitely would affect your performance, having that all in mind, just as it would affect you in real life.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
But you still have to play the objective. You know, you're not thinking about, the actor can't be thinking, you know, okay, I've got to show all this, you know, the symbolism stuff. I have my objective, because the character doesn't know that he's symbolizing all these things. He knows that this is what he wants, and this is what he's trying to achieve, and these are the obstacles keeping him from getting there.
Yeah, well, obviously, he wouldn't know the outside perspective,
right?
As we don't in real life.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, with these various characters you've played, emotional or, you know, Matchbox, you know, car drivers,
right?
Are there particular characters you'd like to revisit?
I mean, I like to revisit all of them, except for the ones that, like in Digimon, and I have to do it sometimes, but please keep it as small as possible. Tsunomon was the smallest iteration of my Digimon, and he was like in a falsetto voice, "Hey, up here," and doing that for any amount of time is incredibly difficult. But no, I mean, I am always so happy when they bring something back, like they brought Digimon back. They did some extra Digimon. They brought back Bleach, and I got to do some more episodes of Bleach. And you know, anything that comes back that I've done, I would kill if they would do some new episodes of Samurai Champloo. But no, they're all like old friends. You know, it's like going back and visiting old friends that you haven't seen in years. So, yeah, all of them. We do all of them.
All right. Well, let him do all his characters again, okay? Who were your favorite characters growing up? You said you discovered voice acting when you were young. Who are your favorite characters to watch?
Oh, Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd. Elmer Fudd, God, what a funny character. So yeah, and I loved a cartoon that was real kind of edgy and wry called George of the Jungle. I loved it. Any of the animations that had adult humor hidden within them, I liked those better. Just I didn't know probably what the jokes were that they were laying down. You could just tell that there was a little something extra. They had put little Easter eggs in there. I may not have known what they were, but I could feel it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, any of those that had little special stuff that they'd hidden for the adults to watch as well.
Oh yeah, that's always fun to find. Now we're here at Zenkaikon though, and you've been meeting a lot of fans. I know we got to wrap things up, but is there a fan experience that really sticks out in your mind? Meeting a fan and they just touched you in hopefully not a illegal way.
Well,
there was this one time.
Yeah, I remember. No, I think it was my very first convention that I went to, and there was a girl there, and I was her Make-A-Wish. And
wow.
Yeah, I'm like, me, a little voiceover actor. This is your Make-A-Wish. You wanted to have, sit down and have dinner with me and just talk. And so, yeah, that it just gives me chills. That what I do could have that kind of effect.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
Wow. As we have to wrap up, any upcoming projects that you can discuss?
No.
Okay, fair enough.
We're under strict, and yeah, I mean the one that I am so proud of is I direct as well, and I directed Final Fantasy Remake, and we just released Final Fantasy Rebirth, and I'm just incredibly proud of that and honored to have worked with all the actors. I was lucky enough to help guide through their performance. There was just an amazing experience.
And you didn't have them scream at the beginning of the session. You waited till the end.
Never. I take care of my actors. I'm not one of those directors who's for the most part, I'm not a warm, fuzzy director. There's a lot of directors who just fawn over you. Oh, that was so great. Oh God, I can't believe it. No, I kind of, and I should be, because actors love that. They love when you fawn over them. But I'm kind of like, no, you're here to blow me away. So unless you totally blow me away, I'm just going to say you're doing your job.
Nice. Next.
Yeah, well, it's not so much that, I create a playful atmosphere so that they feel that they can play. But when they do blow me away, I think it means more when I give them a compliment, and it's a very specific. I try to give very specific compliments to them so that they know that I saw what you did there. I saw what you did, and how you did that, and they they give me a wink. They know that I picked up on
That's awesome.
Their special moment.
If you're fawning every time, it's like, how do they know when they did better? Yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah, that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, anything you want to say to your fans?
Oh my God, just that I'm so honored and touched every time you throw a little love my way, a compliment, and it's just amazing for me to get to meet you whenever I do, and hear your stories, and hear about you, because I'm always talking about me. So yeah, it's fun to hear what you've got going on in your lives.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to give you a compliment. That was awesome. Thank you so much, Kurt, for spending the time.
Thank you.
And thanks everyone out there for watching.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next time. As always, have fun and follow your fandom.
Hi, this is Cal Dodd, and you are watching Fandom Spotlight, which is the best channel on YouTube named Fandom Spotlight. So, good job. Have fun and follow your fandom.